Hello everybody, this is Kiereek here, and today we're doing a review for Mirror's Edge. Now, Mirror's Edge, what is it? It's a first-person free-running game. It might seem hard. Certainly, first-person platforming has never been a well-explored genre, but it seems to work. You play as Faith, and who's a runner. Runners are basically, I would say, I don't know, rebel delivery or delivery drivers, but they're not driving. They're running across the rooftops. They're running through buildings. They're leaping. They're jumping. They're climbing. They're running. And that's all the kind of stuff you're going to have to do to evade the police and find out who set up your sister. That is the main point of this story. You find out right in the beginning there's been a setup, and you need to figure out who's really behind it. Now, the pros for this game, the art style is amazing. If you look at the cutscenes, I really like what they did with the kind of, I don't know, computer-generated art. I don't know what you call it, to be honest. I'm not an art student, but it looks good, right? It looks great. And that way you don't really have to design realistic faces, and I think that's a benefit. When you look at Mirror's Edge 2, which just recently came out, and they had more realistic, like 3D animation, I don't know, it just looked wrong. It just looked weird to me. But when you do it like this, you don't have to worry about that. Now, the environment, absolutely stunning. The environment looks great. They've got this great art motif going on where it's like everything is pure white, and then you have these flashes of color on certain objects that just bring them into the foreground. They just pop. And then you enter this hallway. The changes are cool. You enter this hallway, and it's like, boom, all of it's red. And it's like, wow, what's going on? And then you enter a new area, and it's like, boom, it's all green. You know, they've got different kind of color themes depending on the area, and I really liked that. It just stood out. I took so many screenshots just because I'd see something like that. That's really pretty. That's beautiful. And the environments are designed so nicely. You know what I mean? They're kind of puzzling in ways. Sometimes you need to figure out which way to go. Other times it's really clear, and you're just running it because you're panicked. You have to go quickly or you're going to get shot. Now, it's very unique. I don't think I've ever seen a game quite like this. Like, when do you ever find first-person platformers where your head moves around and you gotta climb and grapple and swing? I don't think I ever see that shit. And it's probably for a good reason. People haven't done it very well before. I think Mirror's Edge, they hit the nail on the head here. Gotta give them some credit. Now, the challenge. It's fairly challenging at times. Sometimes too challenging. Sometimes too easy. So a lot of the time you'll find yourself running, jumping. You're like, okay, this is pretty clear. I know where to go, blah, blah, blah. And then it'll throw you into like a combat situation, and sometimes it's okay. Other times, if you don't know where to go, these guys keep shooting at you, and you got a choice. You want to fight them, which is not very easy to do sometimes, because you'll just get gunned down, or do you keep running? And I think it puts you in a good situation, right? You don't have a long-range attack by default, unless you steal someone's gun, and you know, it's not really in the spirit of the game, I feel. So you kind of have to think about evasion more than you do attack. I like that a lot. Now, there are some levels, like I said, were too challenging. I died a lot. That one at the end with the servers, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I gotta kill all these guards. There's like 4 guards. I finally, you know, after many deaths, you have a routine. It's like, okay, it's going to work this time. And eventually it did, but it was still annoying at times. It's a good length. I think you get like 6 hours, 7 hours out of it. And that's great. You know what I mean? That seems good to me. At this day and age, that took me actually like a month to finish at that rate, because you just don't get, you know, and as an adult, you don't get much time to play video games anymore, unless you're doing this as a living. So I appreciated that. I think it was great. Now, the story keeps you guessing. It's got a lot of kind of twists and turns in it, and which is pretty nice considering it's mostly done through narration from the characters. I shouldn't say narration, dialogue from the characters and your own character, and then the odd cutscene. But they do a good job of getting the story across in a meaningful way. Now, there's some great jump scares at times too. I love coming out of a door and then just bam, there's something there. I don't have control anymore. I get like knocked over or something like that. It really puts you in the game because it's first person, right? I mean, this would be great with a VR headset. I can't imagine. Some people would probably faint though if you when you jump off a building. It's like me, pretty fucking freaky. Now the cons, sometimes it seems like there's a lack of direction. Again, I'll think about the server level at the end because it's more fresh in my memory. I didn't know what I was doing. I ran in there. I kept getting killed a bunch. I eventually devised a system to kill the guards, and then it was just like, where do I go? The auto direction thing you can activate by hitting Alt by default on the keyboard. It points your view in the way you're supposed to go. Well, it kept pointing me to the top of the stairs, and I was like, I can't go anywhere here, guys. It turns out I had to run down, kill the computer servers first, and then I can run up and the door will be open. Well, how was I supposed to know that? I don't know. Sometimes it's just you're not really sure where to go next, and it's like, I understand it's part of the creativity, but there's creative and then there's frustrating. I also didn't like the times I felt forced to fight. Like I said before, it didn't really feel in spirit of the game. But there's a couple times it's like, wow, I'm just keep getting shot to death here. I can't do the running and the swinging and stuff like that against these guys who just fucking mow me down with machine guns, right? I felt like I was forced to stop and fight. I didn't like it. You know what I mean? I want to be able to run and not fight. I didn't really see her as a fighter. So when I have to knock a guy down, take his gun, and then mow everybody else down, it felt really, I don't know, really lame. The characters, I don't really find them too engaging. I think the story is good, just the delivery of the lines is not. Faith isn't bad, but you look at the other chick, I can't remember her name, her blonde girl, and then the guy she communicates with, they just don't seem, the cop, for example, the cop seems really fake. I don't know. Cliche maybe, he's supposed to be a cliche kind of noir cop, but it doesn't seem right. It just doesn't seem right, and it didn't really engage me in the story that much with the characters. It was more the story itself was engaging, just not the delivery. The controls can feel kind of wonky at times. There's a few times I'm like, okay, I'm gonna climb this thing, and she jumped right over it and fell to my death, which is great, sarcastically great, but most of the time it's alright. It's just the odd thing. I don't know. Lots of times I wanted to wall run and she would just jump, and I was just like, great, thanks, Faith. That's definitely what I wanted, to jump to your death. Finally, I thought the ending was a little odd. I'm not going to spoil it, but it just kind of ended in a place where I like, well, what's stopping me from getting killed right now? Or why was this the ending they chose? I don't understand what this guy has anything to do with it, kind of thing. I don't know, man. It seems like they did really good game and they ran out of time or something. Hopefully Mirror's Edge 2 resolves some of these issues. I'm looking forward to eventually playing it. Now for the score. The gameplay, I think it's really great. Other than the odd little thing, it's innovative, it plays well, and it feels like smooth like you would expect from parkour running, right? So I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 3. The addiction, I think it's fairly addictive. I think some of the frustration and the long level times can make the addiction fall off a little bit. So when you've got a long level and you get to the end, it's like, wow, I felt like I played a bit. I probably shouldn't do a whole nother one. So I'm going to have to give it a 1 out of 2 for addiction. For the reliability, it was great, no problem at all. Ran really great in the computer. Barely taxed it at all. I'm going to give it a 1 out of 1, especially considering it looks so good. That's pretty nice. Atmosphere, they nailed it. I think I've gone on lots about the environment and the art style, and it's perfect. It's absolutely awesome. And especially when you're in the first person view, it helps it so much. That's a 2 out of 2 guaranteed atmosphere. Replay value, this is where I feel like they didn't really bring it home. I guess you could run through the levels again. There's like a time attack mode. Great. I didn't really feel like doing it, to be honest. To me, playing through the same single player campaign again is not really that fun. You know, I know what's going to happen. I know the path to take now. If you're one of those people who enjoys running for the best times, like speed running, maybe it'd be great, but other than that, I don't see it. I have to give it a 0.5 out of 2. That means my total score is a 7 out of 10. I feel like that doesn't do it justice, possibly because of the replay value score, but give it a shot. It's out there, it's really cheap now. I got it years ago in Humble Bundle, like most of my games, and yeah, it was totally worth it. It was totally worth it. So check it out, give it a shot, and in the meantime, I would love it if you watch more videos. I like it when I see the view counter go up. None of them are monetized or anything, so it doesn't really make me any money, but it makes me feel good. Makes me feel like it's a little more appreciated. So in the meantime, stay safe, have yourselves a good day, and I'll see you all again soon.